Good morning and Jai Hind everyone. My name is Akshit Rai and I am from Sunbeam School Sarnath. Welcome to a new episode of Beamcast where we bring voices that inspire, ignite curiosity and celebrate the art of learning. Today we are deeply honored to have with Miss Deepa Kiran, a renowned storyteller, educator, founder of Story Arts Foundation and a voice that has touched countless hearts across classrooms, communities, and countries. Her work blends the wisdom of traditional storytelling with the rhythm of modern education, transforming learning into an experience, not a task. Her presence reminds us that stories are not just told, they lived, felt, and carried forward. Ma'am, it is privilege to welcome you to the Sunbeam Beamcast. We are delighted to have this conversation with you.
Thank you, Akshit. I'm delighted to be here with you today.
Ma'am, shall we begin?
Sure.
I would like to ask you a few questions. Stories often begin before we realize we are in one. When did the storytelling begin for you? As an art or as a calling?
Yes, that's true. We don't even know we're in the story many times. Yeah. It began for me literally, I think, from when I was born because I never come to the point. I always have a long answer for everything. I have a big story for everything that I talk about. So I think that's how it started. As a calling, it partially started when I started teaching. In 2000, I felt like telling stories to my students when I taught them, and that's what I did. And yes, eventually I realized that this is what I want to do for a living when I had a kidney malfunction and I recovered not with medicines but with storytelling. Yeah.
That's inspiring, ma'am. We that the audience of this beamcast can inspire through it and take motivation from it. That how you just have motivation and how inspiration you got, like how much dedicated to your work you are. Now, my second question is: your work beautifully blends traditional storytelling with modern education. How do you think staying rooted to our culture help us rise in today's globalized world?
Very much so in the world we're living today. Our cultural backdrop, as we can see, whether it is in cinema, whether it is with food, we are moving forward towards our space in the global arena, carrying our culture with us, carrying our background with us. And the fact that I tell stories from India in an Indian style of telling stories is why I get invited to other countries, and they want to hear those stories. I narrate in English and I add Sanskrit and Hindi and Tamil and Telugu in the storytelling. They want to hear stories of Mirabai, stories of Tenali Ramakrishna, of Sundarakandam, Devi Mahatmyam. This is a great time to be really grounded in our culture. And that is what gives us the strength to understand the world when we understand our world.
That's great, ma'am. Now, my next question is: you have inspired thousands through story art. What's the most powerful story you have told or been told that changed you as a person?
There are many stories. I cannot pick one, but one story that keeps coming back in my life is what my father told me as a child, and I have told it to my children, and my children have told it back to me when I need it. It's a story of a king who has a minister who always says, Yellam Nanmaike, everything is for good. One day the king falls sick, and the minister says, Yellam Nanmaike, everything is for good. And the king gets very angry, throws him in the jail. And the minister says, Ellam Nanmaike, everything is for good, even when he's thrown in the jail. The next day, the king goes for a hunt. He injures himself, he gets lost, he's all alone, and he's captured by people in the jungle. And they're about to sacrifice him to their gods when suddenly they see he's injured. They see the injury and they send him back. Somehow the king comes back home and he immediately calls the minister. And he says, you are right, I got an injury and I was so upset. Mujhe itna gussa aaya. But because of the injury, I was saved. Yellam Nanmaike, everything is for good. The minister says, yes, Maharaj. The king says, but I threw you in the jail. How is that good? the minister says, Maharaj, if you had not put me in the jail, we both would have been together. Then the jungle people would have seen I don't have injury, I would have been killed. Ellam nanmaikku. Everything is for good. And the king says, yeah, you are right. Yeah. So this is one of my favorite stories that we don't know, but somehow everything is for good.
That sounds so positive. Like the whole negativity, if there was any negativity in this room, that disappeared like from nothing, from zero to zero actually. Now, my next question is, many educators today struggle to make learning engaging. What role can storytelling play in transforming classrooms?
Absolutely 100%, 1000% role storytelling can play. Do you like to listen to stories?
Yeah, of course.
Yes, this is the answer of every student, right? So if a teacher is going to say, I'm going to teach a subject, do you want to listen? They might say, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, okay, ma'am. Yeah, but do you want to listen to stories? The answer is always yes. Yeah, so we already have the voluntary attention of the child. And if we can engage the child with a good story connected to the topic, then it's such a powerful tool to build their listening skill, to build their attention in the subject, and to make them want to be curious about the topic. Yeah, so it's a highly effective tool, and I definitely recommend teachers to use it in the teaching of language and even subjects.
Now that's knowledgeable. What does success mean to you? Applause, impact, or inner peace?
Definitely all of those, yeah, because as a performing artist, you enjoy the applause of the audience, maza to aata hai. And when you impact many lives, that is also significant. You feel like you've contributed something to the society. But finally, what I find is the underlying drive is inner peace, especially as I grow older. The other two are important, but not as important as the contentment, feeling good that I'm doing what I enjoy and what contributes to someone else's life. So it is the inner peace.
That feels great. Now we would move to the rapid fire question.
Sure.
One word that defines you as a storyteller.
Soulful.
A story you never get tired of telling.
I think it would be the old woman, the crow, and the fox.
One childhood memory that still make you smile.
It is, I have many, I'm very lucky, I have many. But one is we would travel by train a lot, and my mother would keep me awake at night and tell me, wait, you know, the train is going to go around the bridge. So at night, when the train goes like that, you can see it like a necklace, you know, the lights. And because it's taking a U turn, you put your nose to the window and you can clearly see the. I have seen that so many times with my mother. So yeah, that's a memory. Trains at night.
One book you think everyone should read once in their life.
Today, my answer would be Sundarakandam.
What's one superstitious or belief you secretly hold on to?
A belief I hold on to is it's very important for me to recharge by sitting with myself and preferably sitting with nature, river, mountain, trees, forest, with nature, with myself.
One message you would give to young storytellers listening to this podcast.
Yeah, I would share what Tijan Bai told me. Tijan Bai is a very, very senior Pandwani storyteller from India, and I had the good fortune of meeting her in Raipur, in Chhattisgarh, her hometown. I asked her, what do you think is the quality that every storyteller requires? And she said, Lagan, which is persistence, dedication, sincerity. Yeah, so I would just pass on Tijan Bai's words.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us and filling this space with your warmth, wisdom, and stories that speak to the heart. Listening to you remind us that storytelling isn't just an art, it's a way of seeing a world, connecting with people, and finding meaning in every moment. To all our listeners, thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Beamcast. We hope today's conversation leaves you inspired to listen more deeply, learn more joyfully, and maybe even tell your own stories with courage and heart. Thank you and Jai Hind.